Hey guys, what is up? So we are going to be doing a roster review of the Steelers 2058-53 man roster, 2018 53 man roster. I'm gonna restart that. Hey guys, what is up? So roster cuts were just made yesterday, and all teams are now at the 53 man roster. That is mandatory. I believe it was 4 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone had to be 53. So we're going to look at the Steelers roster that they are going to use to begin the 2018 season. Now this may change, but this is how it's going to look in a week when they face Cleveland. Or that's how it should look in a week when they face Cleveland. Plus or minus a certain Le'Veon Bell. So then one guy would end up being cut whenever Bell decides to sign his franchise tag. If he decides to sign his franchise tag. He's going to lose almost $900,000 a game. I think he would sign it. But here with me, in order to review the roster, are all my friends. Damn it, they escaped again. They must have went out for coffee. Alright, so I'll end up doing this by myself. So, first the quarterbacks. We have Mason Rudolph, Joshua Dobbs, and Ben Roethlisberger. So, Landry Jones, who has been with the Steelers since he was drafted, spent his first 5 years in Pittsburgh. People thought he was a lock to be the number 2 guy, and Josh Dobbs made his argument that says, hey, me. So he'll most likely be the backup this year, unless if for some reason they saw something in Mason they really liked. And in that case, if Mason were to be the backup, it would almost make sense to cut Jones, because Jones's contract is his dollar value. It's like, really? For the number 3 guy? So, I don't know, though. But most likely, Josh Dobbs is going to be the backup. And Ben would be the starter, obviously. Alright, running backs. So we have Stevan Ridley, Lev Bell, who has yet to sign his franchise tag, James Conner, Jaylen Samuels, and Roosevelt Nix. Okay. So, I don't really count Roosevelt Nix as a running back. I more count him as a fullback, but okay. So whenever Bell decides to rejoin the Steelers, we could see one of either Jaylen Samuels or Stevan Ridley get the boot. And it kind of sucks because I like both those players. Fitzgerald Toussaint I didn't really care for, so kind of glad he's gone. Let's see what else. Roosevelt Nix is our Pro Bowl fullback. He's making the roster. Okay. Next. Wide receivers. Number 11, Justin Hunter. Then you have James Washington, Ryan Switzer, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, and Darius Hayward-Bay. Okay. So we'll run down the line. Justin Hunter, brought in last year, was able to make the roster, and he was able to make it again this year. I mean, from my perspective, I kind of like him. He could be a number 4 guy. It'd be between him and really Ryan Switzer for the number 4, because Darius Hayward-Bay, he's nothing more than really a special teams guy, which is why he keeps making the roster. And he's like our emergency wide receiver. James Washington, 2nd round pick. I don't think there's really any reason why he shouldn't make the roster. He was a 2nd rounder. Ryan Switzer, just traded for him. So he's going to stay. Juju showed what he could do last year. And then you have Antonio Brown, best receiver in the league. And again, Darius Hayward-Bay, who's a special teams guy and our best. He's basically our emergency wide receiver. He's one of our better special teams guys as well, though. Tight ends, Jesse James, Xavier Grimble, and Vance McDonald. So I mean, we have an okay group of tight ends. If Vance McDonald could just stay healthy, he would be so good. Xavier Gribble. Um, I mean, he's okay. I like him. Not really much more to say on that. He's an okay tight end. I kind of like him. And Jesse James, uh, he does all right. He's getting better in blocking, but I believe he's in the final year of his rookie contract. And I don't think they keep him after this year. We really, really need to draft a tight end early in this upcoming draft. Okay, offensive line. Marquise Pouncey, David DeCastro, BJ Finney, Zach Banner, Matt Filer, Ramon Foster, Chukuma Okorafor, Marcus Gilbert, and Alejandro Villanueva. Alright, so we'll pick out Villanueva, Foster, Pouncey, DeCastro, and Gilbert. That is our starting five. They're all very, very good at what they do, so there was not real much doubt that they would, make the roster. Chukuma Okorafor, he was a third-round pick. He was our second third-round pick after Mason, so he's going to make the roster. I would say if you're picked somewhere between rounds 1 through 4, you're probably pretty good on making the roster. Matt Filer has shown he can do a okay amount of stuff as a backup. He's decent. Zach Banner, who was able to make the roster, he gave the Steelers a reason. Haven't really seen much of him though, but from what I saw in the preseason, he does all right. But then again, you're not facing starters. And BJ Finney, who time and time again has come in and subbed and has done very well for us. So let's see. Defensive line. Javon Hargrave, Stephon Tuitt, Dan McCullers, Tyson Alualu, LT Walton, and Cameron Hayward. Hayward and Tuitt, great duo. You add in Hargrave, and they make a really nice trio. Let's see, Dan McCullers, he hasn't done much so far in his career, but people are really, really raving about him this year with our D-line coach, change. Tyson Alualu did well last year when we needed him to. Well, not well, but, well enough. And LT Walton, who, again, same as Alualu, when he's called upon, he's able to do something. Okay, linebackers. Tyler Medikevich, Matthew Thomas, Bud Dupree, John Bostic, LJ Fort, Anthony Chickillo, TJ Watt. I'm just going to call him by his nickname, Ola Adeniyi, and Vince Williams. So, let's take a look. So, Medikevich, people are actually thinking he might be cut this year. Some were saying to cut him, but he's pretty good on special teams. I think he blocked a punt week 1 against the Browns, which Anthony Chickillo then recovered. I believe so. Unless if it was the other way around. So he's done okay so far in his career. He's pretty good at tackling. Made a lot of tackles at Temple. It's just he's not very. I think I've heard somewhere where if he was a little taller and a little faster, he would have been a third-round pick. Don't know if that's true or not, but then you have Matthew Thomas, who was undrafted from Florida State. A lot of people like him. A lot of people thought he had some real potential, and they decided to keep him. Bud Dupree. He's our starter at. Let me think. They made a change, so he's right outside now. He would be the starter at right outside when he and TJ switch sides. This is kind of like a make or break it year for him, so hope he does well. They did give him his 5th-year option, I believe. John Bostic brought in from the Colts, and he is probably going to start next to Vince Williams, in all honesty. LJ Fort has been able to make the roster a couple times, so he's that borderline guy where if you bring in someone, even at a different position, he could be cut. Anthony Chickalo, a lot of people wanted him cut this year, but he's really good for special teams. And people wanted Keon Adams to stay instead of him, but who knows if Adams can do what he does on special teams. So they decided to keep Chickalo. TJ Watt, I don't really have to explain that. 7 sacks last year as a rookie. Youngest brother of the Watts. Then you have Ola Adeniyi, who is also undrafted from Toledo. And he showed some ability to rush the passer. He forced a couple fumbles this preseason, so they decided to give him a spot. And Vince Williams, who he just got a new contract as well. He was our second guy next to Ryan Shazier, but when Shazier took down, he had to take over as the head guy. Middle linebacker. Alright, so defensive backs. Cameron Sutton, Sean Davis, Joe Hayden, Cody Sensabaugh, Artie Burns, Marcus Allen, Mike Hilton, Terrell Edmonds, Jordan Dangerfield, and Morgan Burnett. Okay, so a couple of notable cuts here. As you can actually see, Burhay got cut, but also Brian Allen got cut. But he did get moved onto the practice squad, which I can also look at either in this video or in another one. Cam Sutton, so 3rd round pick last year, was hurt for half the season, I think, and came back and did pretty good. Sean Davis, he's our free safety now. He moved from strong safety to free safety once we cut Mike Mitchell and brought in Morgan Burnett. And really, he's the starter. So Joe Hayden. It's Joe Hayden. He's making the roster. Cody Sensabaugh. So Cody Sensabaugh, he was brought in last year from, I think, the Giants, because he played for the Titans, then went to the Rams, then got cut by the Rams, went to the Giants, and now he's here. He was probably one of the guys that could get cut. It's probably between him and Brian Allen, but he can play outside and inside. I think Brian Allen only plays outside. So, Artie Burns, a few months ago, I called that Artie and Sean Davis would both have big years, and Artie so far has not disappointed. He's looked really, really good. Marcus Allen, 5th round pick, safety from Penn State. He showed enough where he deserves to be on the roster. Not really much more to say about it. Mike Hilton, so he's our slot guy. He balled out last year. Had 3 sacks in 1 game. Only cornerback to ever do that. Terrell Edmonds, he's our 1st round pick. He's going to make the roster. Jordan Dangerfield. So this is a guy who, he's, again, one of those border guys who, yes, he'll make the roster, but one guy gets signed at tight end, he's gone. Morgan Burnett signed from Green Bay, and he's going to be the starting strong safety, so not much to say about that. Jordan Berry, he's our punter. Some thought that Matt Weil could, for some reason, make a run at him, but I think Berry just had a bad game that day. Chris Boswell, he's our Pro Bowl kicker. He just got a brand spanking new contract. Same day Vince Williams got his. He's staying. And Cameron Canaday, he is our long snapper. He did pretty well last year. He was able to beat out the guy we drafted in the 6th round. Drafted a long snapper in the 6th round, and he lost to Cameron, so he's our long snapper. What else? Steelers got him, but I'm totally expected to re-sign. Okay, yeah. So, apparently, Burhay's supposed to re-sign with Pittsburgh tomorrow. Okay, so Steelers are going to take one of these guys, put him on IR, and then sign Burhay. Unless someone snags him between today and tomorrow. And then you also have Lev Bell. So that's 2 guys who are going to be on the roster and actually count, and 2 guys who are going to have to either go on IR or See ya. So that's the actual roster. That, by the way, that was on Behind the Steel Curtain. So if you just look up Steelers roster, that article's there. Sign 11 players to practice squad. Now I know what you mean, or I know what you're thinking right now. 11 practice squads only allow 10. Well, with the player we got from the international program thing, Christian Scotland Williams, I think Williamson, something like that. He does not count against the practice squad roster, so we're allowed to have 11. I think I read somewhere he didn't count against the roster, so if we wanted to, we could have him on the roster and he wouldn't count, but whatever. Is that actually it? Boo! Come on. Alright, hold on. Hydrate or die. I'm getting a splitting headache. Is it Williamson? It's Williamson. Okay. Okay, guys, so it is Christian Scotland Williamson. That does not count against the roster. So, at running back, we kept Jarvin Franklin, I think that's how you pronounce his first name, Jarvin, because unless that, it's Jarvion or something like that. Wide receiver, Tevin Jones and Trey Griffey. Now, if that last name sounds familiar to you, yes, he is the son of Ken Griffey Jr. Offensive line, we kept R.J. Prince and Patrick Morris. Tight end is Bucky Hodges and Christian Scotland Williamson. Defensive line, Levon Hooks. Linebacker, Keon Adams and Farrington Huguenin. Sorry. And cornerback, Brian Allen. So we kept no safeties on the practice squad. Or we brought no safeties to the practice squad. So let me talk about him. This guy, Franklin, I didn't see him play much at all. I know he scored a touchdown in the 4th preseason game. Apparently, they liked him enough to bring him back to the practice squad. Tevin Jones caught a couple touchdowns in that last preseason game. Trey Griffey, he's made a couple of nice plays. R.J. Prince, to my knowledge, he did pretty well. Patrick Morris as well. Bucky Hodges had a really nice block for one of our receivers. He had a really, really nice block. And he almost scored a touchdown. Christian Scotland Williamson, he doesn't count, so why not? Well, it's not even like a why not. You still gotta pay him, but he may have shown enough. Defensive line, Levon Hooks, I like him. Linebacker, Keon Adams, which people are probably happy that he's at least on the practice squad. Farrington Huguenin. How about Farrington? I'm just going to call him Farrington. Farrington had a really nice preseason. It was possible he would make the roster. I believe he spent last year on the practice squad as well, though. And cornerback, Brian Allen. Allen, I know, wasn't having a good preseason, and I thought maybe that last game he saved himself. He had a couple of nice plays. I thought he saved himself. I thought he was going to make the roster, and he didn't, and here he is on the practice squad. Alright guys, so that is it for a look at the Steelers roster and then a little look at their practice squad, because that would have been a really short video if I did it as a second one. Alright, I am getting hungry. I am going to go eat, even though it's only 3:45. I gotta go eat something though. I'm getting hungry. So that is a look at the roster and the practice squad. Sad they never came back. I gotta go hunt them down. Nothing you can think of them. I am joking, but it's like, oh, is he gonna go hunt him down? Like hunt them down, or is he gonna go like, hey guys, where are you? So if you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment on what you think about the Steelers roster. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.